We have, today we're really excited to welcome Dr. Jeff, and he's the owner of Kelowna Family Chiropractic. He's been a natural health practitioner here in the Valley for 25 years, father of two beautiful boys, Trevor and Ryan. And he's going to talk to you about the gut-brain connection. So if you haven't heard of this before, it's going to blow your mind how important your gut health is to your entire well-being. Jeff loves a little glass of red wine and a book by the beach. He's got a brown belt in fencing, and he's what do you call it when you know the horse dancing? What's it called again? Dressage. Yeah. So he has actually a brown belt in dressage as well. So very accomplished man, and I'm going to welcome him to the stage. Please give a warm welcome, make him feel at home. Dr. Jeff, come on up.
Hi. I was trying to hear what Dwayne was saying about me because he said, I'm just going to go out there and make a bunch of stuff up. Is that okay? And I'm like, I think it's okay because you kind of know me, and by the sound of what he said, I don't even think he knows me at all. But, so just a few housekeeping things. I called security, so that guy who's walking around back there won't come back, so I think we're safe. And for the ladies that saw me in the ladies' washroom this morning, I was totally misdirected, number one. And number two, the two or three people I passed in the short hallway, why didn't you stop me? And I'm very happy for the clicker, otherwise I would have had to do the presentation with my hand in my pocket. So, here we go. So, this is my gang. Dwayne introduced my two boys, Trevor and Ryan, are on the left. Rhonda is, of course, the only girl in the picture, poor girl, and those are her two boys, my stepsons, Wyatt and Dawson. You know, family for me has always been number one. In 25 years, everything I've done for my family. And as time went on through chiropractic and working in natural health, it didn't start that way 25 years ago because my practice was very, very different. But then I had a son that almost died from an immunization, and had a neurologist threaten to put me in jail because I wanted to take away his medication that was going to give him cancer by the age of 25, and things like that. I've now watched my mom get really sick, probably from all the years of, you know, being up to her elbows in everything from dish soap to laundry detergent to bathroom cleaners to all of this kind of stuff. And so it's really, really changed the course of what I do now and what I'm really, really passionate about. So, Julene made me put this in here. Our disclaimer, of course. So I'll give you a second to read that. There's the second. But I think she knew that sometimes I don't follow instructions, so she made me sit by the corporate people, so I'm going to do the disclaimer. The information presented is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness. The statements are my opinions based on my ongoing education and research and 25 years of practice. The statements I make are solely my own and have not been evaluated by Young Living, Health Canada, or the FDA. If the information presented inspires you to take control and change the path of your health and your family's health, please consult your physician or don't. All right, so just a little bit, you know, this is my wheelhouse here. This is everything. That's a little blurry, isn't it? But anyway, it gets the idea across. This is sort of what we're led to believe, what we're told, what I was told in school 25 years ago, what we're all educated on. You know, everything happens in the brain, and that is true. I mean, the brain sends out little electrical impulses. They need to travel up and down that spinal cord. And if you look at that picture, you know, you kind of have, you got the brain at the top. That's where that evil limbic system is that messes with all our emotions. You know, and then from there on in, the next part controls things like heart, lungs, breathing. Digestive system and immune system is down near the bottom, and then the lower part of the digestive system and all the reproductive organs. And so Everything that happens to us every single day from the time we're born till right this very second is one of three kinds of stress. It's either a physical stress, which is easy for people to understand. You know, you fall down the stairs or you're in a car accident, that's a physical stressor. But chemical and mental emotional stress are the two biggies. And what will happen is your body always takes chemical and mental emotional stress and turns it into physical patterns. That's how your body lets you know that something's going on. That's how your body sets off the smoke alarm. And so it just depends on your whole genetic, lifestyle history, which part that's going to manifest in your body. And most symptoms are just an indication that your body's screaming for help. It's a nerve system that's in distress. But here's the really important thing. In reality, the gut controls the brain. And when you look at things like Ayurvedic medicine, Chinese medicine, even now Harvard Medical School writes about the gut brain or the second brain. And just a few numbers that are quite mind-boggling. 200 million neurons, 100 trillion microbial cells. There's a lot of talk about what's called the enteric nerve system, okay? That's what exists in your gut. It's this meshwork of fibers that control what goes on there and control your immune system, and it's connected by neural pathways, right? Who's heard about that evil hormone serotonin, right? Show of hands, right? Everybody. Most things that go wrong with us, they say, oh, it's, mental, emotional stuff, serotonin, too much serotonin, not enough serotonin. We're always led to believe that serotonin is produced in the brain, and it turns out 90% of it is produced in the gut. That makes the gut very, very important, right? Serotonin regulates things like the immune system, anxiety, happiness, mood. They say that you can really tell the health of a person purely by looking at their gut and their digestive system. And that's something that's really gaining a lot of attention in the natural health, because a healthy gut technically means the person will be healthier. Less burden on the liver, way better digestion, huge connection between the immune system and the gut, right? Who knew that 80% of the immune system actually happens in the gut? When you look at genetics, right? 99% of genetics are similar from person to person. Now, that's people sitting in this room. But when you look at gut, there's 80 to 95% variation on the bacteria that's in your gut, okay? So your genomic information is the entire genetic information of that organism. So 1% is human, 99% is microbial. So this is something I learned a little bit about at convention in Utah, was the concept of a fecal transplant. So I'll just let you ponder that for a minute. Right? Really, really unbelievable concept. But basically what it sums up to is, if you take the genetic information that's in the fecal matter of a skinny person and you transplant it into an obese person, the obese person will become skinny, and vice versa. Really, really cool stuff. A little bit on the gross side, but very cool. All right, who has leaky gut? Right? And all of you who didn't raise your hand, you probably do too, to some degree, right? Leaky gut basically means the cells of your intestine start to come unglued and things can leak out. So things like glutens, toxins, infections, stress, age, all of those things break down those bonds that keep your gut tight, and things can leak out. And then what happens is your body starts to attack those things like they're foreign invaders, okay? Glutens are the most common cause. Inflammatory foods, right? Most of us that do any research on natural health learn about, the alkaline versus the acidic diet. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And of course, toxins are things like, the dirty dozen. Most of us here are familiar with chemical-free lifestyle, dirty dozen, all of that. My whole oil journey started about a year ago. I got to give all the credit to the girls in my office. They brought this to us, or to me, about a year ago, and said, this is really something we should bring in. I thought, oh, what now? But in order to keep everybody happy, I took a look at it, and where I've gone in the last year in learning about this stuff and the impact it can have on your lifestyle is really, really amazing. And so for those of you that saw Rhonda's picture earlier, she's sitting here, but anything she talks about my addiction to oils or about all these elaborate processes I go through using my oils are greatly exaggerated, so please don't believe it. Okay, so I remember the first time I heard Dirty Dozen. I'm sitting in the audience and I'm thinking about that, and it's talking about things like parabens and fragrance and perfume and DEA and all this stuff, and I'm going through my head and I'm doing a checklist, and then they're finished and I'm like, yes, no wine. If wine or coffee made the list, I'd have to change it to the Dirty 10 or the Dirty 8 or whatever is necessary. All right, so leaky gut, signs of the leaky gut are things like digestive issues, allergies or asthma, food allergies, hormonal imbalances, PMS, PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, autoimmune diseases, things like rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's disease, celiac disease, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, mood issues, none of which I'm sure anybody in this room has with all of our oil use, anxiety, depression, anxiety, ADD, ADHD, skin issues, things like eczema, acne, psoriasis, and rosacea, and candida overgrowth, right? So as you look at that list, I'm sure myself, like most people, you're checking them off. It's like, yep, got that one, got that one, got that one, got that one, got that one. And it starts to have this recurring theme. So, what's the solution for leaky gut? It's sort of a 4-step process, right? First of all, we want to remove what caused the problem. Is it diet related? Is it toxin related? Is it related to overuse of medications and things like antibiotics and that sort of thing? Is it from stress? Right? Who's stressed in the audience? Raise your hand. Raise it higher. Right? Those of you that didn't are either asleep or you're lying. Okay? We're all stressed. We're bombarded with stress every single day, and whether we feel like we're stressed or not, your body is exhibiting signs of stress, right? And that's what symptoms are. Next step is to replace whatever it was, right? If it's diets, start to work on switching from an alkaline diet to an acidic diet. And in simple terms, the alkaline diet is it's all that green leafy stuff. It's, quality meats, grass-fed beef. It's, good fish, those sorts of things, berries, versus the acidic diet, things like sugar, alcohol, caffeine, grain-fed beef that's full of hormones and steroids, all of that sort of thing. Positive thinking, real big one, right? If you have all this negative crap that's happening to you every single day in your life, you need to spend some time doing some stuff that makes you feel good, and that's an area where the oils are so powerful. You've got to re-inoculate the gut, build up the good bacteria, which we're going to talk about here in another minute or two. Probiotics and prebiotics, which is a very, very confusing thing that we talk about a lot with our patients. And repair, right? Repair takes time. Right? We don't exercise once and now we're healthy, we don't need to exercise again, right? We don't take a probiotic for a week and say, oh my gut's good, right? You don't need it anymore. All right, so this is, I truly believe in what I've seen in my practice over the last year. I could stand up here for half the day and just tell stories about my patients, which is really, really cool. I wouldn't have a license after that because most of what I would say I'm not allowed to say, but the things that I've seen really, really are powerful. But I truly believe that the essential oils can help most things in your body work better, right? We're not talking about healing things or curing things, and there's all kinds of factors, but most things can be made to work better in the body with essential oils. So there's something called biohacking. Anybody heard of biohacking? Right, not too many. I haven't either. Biohacking is basically do-it-yourself biology, right? Really smart and a little bit weird, nerdy people like me sit around and think about stuff like this. That whole fecal transplant thing, that's an extreme version of biohacking, recreating human biology, okay? Now, oils are very, very powerful because you can do all kinds of different things with them. You can match oils to body systems, you can match oils to organs, right? The organs in your body work on vibration, just like the essential oils do. You can match oils to emotions, reflex points. You can go on and on and on, but here's the really interesting thing, is an oil can have a certain effect on me, but it's going to be different for you, or different for you, or different for you. And this is where, the journey with oil starts, and this is a very, very important thing that we spend a lot of time educating our patients on, and you need to educate people on that you share oils with, is just because lemon works for you in a certain manner, it's not going to not work like that with your friend. And that's an important concept to start to introduce for people. Okay? So basically, that whole biohacking thing, that's the desire to be the absolute best version of ourselves. Who doesn't want that? All right, a couple of basics. The digestive system and that whole prebiotic, probiotic thing, right? A probiotic is a live organism. That's the bacteria that's in your gut. The prebiotic is what that bacteria eats. It's the food for the live organism. Probiotics die due to temperature, acidity, time. Prebiotics are not affected by those things. Probiotics are used up in the stomach and in the small intestine. Prebiotics go all the way through. Okay? So an easy way to remember is the prebiotics are what the probiotics eat. Right? And I don't know if any of you are, winemakers or know anything about winemaking. Winemaking is all based on yeast. You need a certain strain of yeast to take grape juice and turn it into wine. If those yeast don't get the right food, your wine is vinegar, right? Who's drinking bad homemade wine? Right? Almost everybody. And that's what that whole process is the yeast, when that wine was made, did not do what it was supposed to do, probably because it didn't have the right food. So, here we go. Who doesn't love Life 9? That's hard to read, isn't it? Or is it just me because it's bright? Can't see it? Okay, so for some of these that are coming out a little bit funny on color, if you want pictures of any of these slides, just email me at my office and I will be sure to have one of my girls say yes. Because there's only 500 or 600 of you here, so they'll have no trouble fitting that in. All right, so because this is hard to read, I'll read this a little more closely. Actually, I can't even read it off there either. So, Life 9, so cool that this is in Canada. Probiotics are something I've used with my patients for years and years and years. And it's the same old thing, well, why should I buy your probiotic from this company when Costco has it for this price and Nature's Fair has it for this price? And, I used to dance around the topic, and now it's just plain and simple. It's the best, and it's as simple as that, okay? So Life 9 has 17 billion live bacteria from 9 different strains. Okay, it's time release. The reason time release is important is because it can go through your system very, very quickly. Acids can decrease the effectiveness or eliminate the effectiveness completely. So time release allows it to get through your gut and into your intestine where it's needed. Okay, very, 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 very important to support your probiotic with the prebiotic, right? So if the prebiotic is the food that the probiotic eats, it makes sense that you need to take them a little bit in a certain order for them to work the right way. A lot of controversy too about things like digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes are awesome. One of the lovely ladies from corporate, whose name I'm just blanking on right now, told me that Essential Zymes, which is an NFR product, which a little birdie told me may end up in Canada soon. I hope I didn't get her in trouble. Well, she said it changed her life, and digestive enzymes can change your life for sure. But we just need to wait a little bit longer for that. But digestive enzymes do not directly support your probiotic, right? You need prebiotics to support the probiotic. In general, the best time to take a probiotic, I know the bottle says after your evening meal. There are certain things that decrease the effectiveness of probiotics. One is the kind of meal you take them with. So you really want to take your probiotic a little bit after your lightest meal of the day. Because when the stomach is empty, the acids are far too strong, and they can break it down too early in the stomach and kill some of the bacteria. You also don't want to take it around too heavy of a meal, because heavy meals take longer to digest in the stomach, which again, the longer that spends in there with the acid decreases the effectiveness. So take it around the lighter meal of the day. And my suggestion is to use your prebiotic half an hour after you take your probiotic or something like that. And, and this is stuff, people always say, well, you read it on the bottle or whatever. This is stuff we use in our practice with our patients every single day. And just like she said, for some people it's life-changing. Absolutely. And when you think back to all of that stuff that your gut is responsible for, I mean, if the gut controls the brain and you can make your gut healthier and your brain functions better, everything in your whole body will work better. So, let's look at a prebiotic. Here's sulfurzyme. Who uses sulfurzyme? Yeah. Awesome product. It's a prebiotic. It's phenomenal food. I think actually I think the NHP on it is it's actually for joint health, and it has MSM, and it's a phenomenal joint product as well, but it's also a phenomenal prebiotic. So there's some differences depending on whether you have the capsules or the powder, and that's something I don't have an answer to, but for some reason, and it has a little bit to do with the capsule being broken down, but capsules are taken with food. If you have the powder, you want to take it about half an hour to an hour after you eat, and then you don't want to eat or drink too much for about half an hour after that. All right, Digest. Digest is quickly becoming one of my favorite oils. It's a phenomenal thing. I can't even believe how many things are in it, and I don't know why the colors are so bad on here, but looks like it has tarragon, ginger, peppermint, juniper, fennel, anise, patchouli, and lemongrass. All in there. The first time somebody told me that you could take this stuff, and if you rub it clockwise, it makes things go a little faster, and if you rub it counterclockwise, it makes things go a little slower, I'm like, seriously. And you want me to bring this stuff into my office and then stand there and say, okay, take this stuff and rub it this way so I can go faster. But so what did I do? I did a little scientific experiment. Now, I haven't really experienced the whole faster, slower thing, but the whole indigestion, heartburn, overeating, gas, bloating, it's absolutely unbelievable. Everybody has the turkey dinner where, you don't eat too much because it tastes so good. You're just honoring your mother or your mother-in-law, making sure you do what you're supposed to. And then you go home and you're just like, oh, near the top button, I'm gonna die. Should I go throw up or not? Right? You can actually rub the Digest on your stomach and it works. And this is something I read in one of the Young Living things. It says the Digest is better than an after dinner mint. That could be, but in my case, why wouldn't you have the after dinner mint and then put on the Digest? Right? So here's the little tips, the soothing the tummy. We recommend using it with a carrier oil. I don't. Carrier oils is a good way to start with people. I certainly have used oils that have given me a little bit of a skin irritation from time to time, but you get used to it and I just suck it up and it's all good. But I understand when you're telling new people that you need to do that, you need to do that. So that's all cool. Very, very good for acid-alkaline balance, right? Everybody who studies natural health knows disease, cancer, all of that stuff flourishes in an acidic environment. We want to create a more alkaline environment in our body. Very, very good for that. Topically, diffuse it. We're getting the equivalent of the Vitality line in Canada. That's awesome because I think we should be ingesting it every day, and I do. But I'm not allowed to say that. Sorry, Jamie. ICP. ICP is another great product. It's the equivalent of what you would call a fiber product. Again, good prebiotic, colon health, all of that stuff's really, really important. I'm going to go a little quicker because I see red numbers, meaning I'm almost out of time. Omega Gize is a great product. Very, very good for things like heart health, general health, all of that kind of stuff. Your omegas. And really, really cool stuff. The Icon pasta is awesome, right? I have kids with gluten allergies. We've tried every gluten-free pasta product, pizza crust bread under the sun. They're okay, they're improving. Are they good? Are they something you just say, oh, I can't wait to eat that gluten-free pasta, right? Not so much. This stuff is really, really good. And the fact that it's an ancient grain, it's non-GMO, we know how bad GMO is for you, all that kind of stuff. And when you look at a chart of glutens, again, sorry the colors didn't turn out so good, but down the list of flours, whole wheat flour has almost 10% gluten, all-purpose flour has 9.2, unbleached bread flour has 8.7, cake flour 6.7, eat more cake than bread. Einkorn flour is 1.2%. So it really has almost no gluten. And because it's non-GMO, it's very, very easily digestible. And I know for my family, they can't even tell, and they don't have the reactions to the glutens that they do from the other stuff. All right, who loves Nink's Red? Who had a Slurpee? Woo! Seriously, go have a Nink's Slurpee, because Lisa screwed up and bought the wrong cup size, so you get like $20 of Nink's for like $4. So we have our financial officer from corporate here. Lisa bought the wrong cups.
But it's $5. Yeah, we have to pray.
We know what it's all good for. Everybody always talks about when you see these charts, what the heck do they mean? I actually did the research. Biological activity is a big, big thing. That measures the antioxidants, all of the antimicrobial effects, all of the good stuff that's important. So when you think that 1 ounce, that's what 29.5 mils is like 59 pieces of broccoli, 100 oranges, 814, and every time I show that to somebody, they say, of what? Of biological activity, of things that matter, of things that get rid of free radicals and all the bad stuff in your system. And my fave. Who doesn't love Frank? Who loves Frank? So, what does Frank have to do with gut health? Not a whole lot, but this was one of the game changers for me. When I typed this Google search into Dr. Google or whatever we call them nowadays, and I saw that the things that frankincense can do for you, that's it. How do they do that? They drop the mic and do that. They break the little button, right? Frankincense is a game changer. For me, if there was only one oil, I always used to play those games with my kids. If you could only listen to one band for the rest of your life, what would it be? If you could only, have one kind of food, what would it be? If I could only have one oil, it would be fun. And I think that's almost it. Here's the tough love part, right? So how many times do we go to a phenomenal event like this, we write our little fingers off like, going back 100 years when we were in school, and we take all these notes and we go home with all these great plans, and then what happens? Nothing. Right? This stuff, you have the ability to not only change your own life, to change the life of your kids, to change the life of your friends and family. That's it. I'm here all week. Stop me and ask me any questions. That's it.